Well, I was going to do a fireside chat. I forgot my keys. So instead, I think we should go for a walk. This is going to be a while. For those of you that have been keeping up with the news, and if you haven't, well, this is probably some stuff you should know. The president has been permanently banned from Twitter and Facebook. Tucker Carlson had his account removed from Twitter. I thought that was some pretty big news considering he's the highest rated news anchor on TV these days. Parler was removed from the Google Play Store, and Apple is also, I think it's still on Apple last time I checked, but Apple is also demanding that they make changes to their platform. So I wouldn't be surprised if by now it has been completely removed because the head of Parler said we are not going to abide by other people's standards. It's our company. F off. That's just a brief summary. I don't think he actually said F off, but it sounds good. So a lot of people are freaking out. Uh, Right-wing groups on Facebook have been deleted. Um, there's like a whole long list of them. Along with especially Trump support groups, but patriot groups, prepper groups. Um, the list goes on and on. And who knows how many more people have been deleted or banned from Twitter. Uh, Twitter's explanation for Tucker Carlson was inciting violence, which I'm 100% certain he's never done. So I call BS on Twitter. And honestly, after what Twitter's been pulling, and considering that Trump is the only reason that Twitter still exists today, I give it a year at the most before they fold because, before 2016, they were in the negative every year. They never made a profit. I don't know how Twitter lasted that long. And then all of a sudden, Trump is, running for president, dictating policy, informing people that they're fired before they even know that they're fired. And, everybody flocked to Twitter to know, like, what the hell else this guy's going to say next. He was like the Howard Stern of presidents. People who hate him still listen to him. People who love him listen to him. Why? Because I want to know what he has to say next. And now that's gone. There's nobody on Twitter right now that anybody cares about. So that's pretty hilarious. So I did want to talk about where do we go from here as a population, as a people, as a society. Um, Facebook is shutting down free speech. Twitter is shutting down free speech. From my understanding, Instagram, who's also owned by Facebook, so don't be surprised, has removed a couple of pages from their platform. And everybody keeps asking, like, what do we do? Well, everybody's flocking to Parler. You can still download it. You don't have to go through Apple or Google in order to, get a copy of it. And I was told that if you want to make sure Parler stays on your phone, to go into your App Store settings and turn off the automatic update. Because at any point in time, Apple or Google can, send out a code saying, like, this app is no longer available. We don't care what you like or who you enjoy talking to. It's for your own good. So I've been thinking about this. What do people do? YouTube channels are making backup channels, and they're making some of them are making 3, 4 backup channels because once their initial page gets shut down, it's not too hard for them to figure out where you're going to go next. And considering that big tech is instituting a lot of this, there's old school methods to get around big tech. And, you know, Michael Rupert, rest in peace, he had a newsletter during the 80s and 90s called From the Wilderness. It was in print. You could subscribe. You would get it in the mail. Members of Congress subscribed to it. He was instrumental in revealing that the CIA was transporting drugs into the U.S. through military cargo planes. People were suicided for revealing this information. He investigated the Pat Tillman story and, figured out that he died from friendly fire, that it was not a heroic act, and they basically used this guy to sell the war. When something is in print, it is hard to disappear. The Germans did this. They had their public book burnings, and yet most of that stuff still survives. It's very, very hard to get rid of everything that is in print. And I think if there's one path forward, it is to basically create your own news outlet. And there's already news outlets out there right now, like the Epoch Times, which you can subscribe to and get at home. They're an actual news agency, which, some people say those don't exist anymore, and for the most part, they're correct. But it was the Epoch Times that revealed that the Uyghur Muslims were being put in the concentration camps and having their organs stolen and sold. So there are legit outlets out there. And one thing I've been considering is, do I take my website and basically turn it into like a summarized news outlet for people to go to for free? Considering it's, granted, it's through WordPress, but I just don't see WordPress shutting anybody down unless they're doing something illegal. And then there's the option of, so you have stuff available online. But what about getting stuff in the print? And doing this old school method, which is easier than it was before. Anybody can do it now. It does cost money, but at the same time, it can't be deleted at the press of a button. So that's one of my thoughts. Is this the path that we're going to have to take in order to make sure that people are still heard, people can speak out, that the news gets out there? Like, imagine if news agencies actually covered the Hunter Biden story instead of ignoring it until after the election, and it was in print. Because people were covering it online, and then it wasn't getting shared, it was being deleted. And then what? Like a few days after the election was over, they're like, hey, look at this stuff Hunter Biden's been under investigation since 2018. And you shut down, who was it? The New York Times had their page shut down. You couldn't share their story. So, yeah. I think print might be the way to go. And let me know your thoughts. I do live in the middle of nowhere. And I honestly don't know if I have the time to even start or look into doing something like that. But it's something to consider. So, strange times. Oh, did I mention Nancy Pelosi instigated a coup? Or at least tried to. No shit. She apparently went to the Pentagon and asked them to no longer abide by any orders that the president gave them. And they responded with, "So you want us to take orders from you and not the commander in chief?" And she said, "Yes." They replied with, "You realize that's a coup, right? That's an act of treason." And nobody seems to give a shit. So, yeah, there's definitely some roads that people need to take in order to, I guess, guarantee our First Amendment, try to preserve our Second Amendment. I have a feeling these people really don't give a shit about legal search and seizure. So, I mean, they don't believe in private property, and they think that, you know, protesters can just go to your place of business and burn the shit down for the sake of free speech. Well, it's okay, you're insured. So, I don't trust these people. I don't trust them one bit. I think we need to start taking certain actions in order to guarantee a voice and a record and a catalog as to what is happening in our country at this certain period of time. And I don't think the internet and digital is the way to go. Because, at the press of a button, anything can just disappear. And that also goes for if there happened to be, some type of widespread power outage, which we've been warned about earlier this year by, I believe it was the United Nations was talking about that, and Klaus Schwab was saying, "Oh, something worse is going to happen besides COVID. We're going to have a digital, we're going to have a digital plague, one that's going to wreak havoc worse than a virus." And if that's the case, and the internet just is shut down, everything's lost anyways. So I guess if we want people to know what happened, who's doing what 100, 200 years from now, paper will still exist. And not only should we be starting a lot of our own news outlets, newsletters, zine magazines, if you will, we should also be collecting printed versions of things that we don't want to disappear. And I've got my own collection of Hunter S. Thompson books. I just found some William F. Buckley. Granted, those guys do not get along, but simple things, encyclopedias, the Harvard classics. The Massachusetts public school system just banned Homer's Odyssey because it was like white privilege or some shit. No joke. There's things as a people, as a culture, that we should start collecting to make sure that it still is around. I even came across a collection of the Annals of American History. So going from colonial America all the way up, I think it goes all the way up to like the Bush administration, the W administration, if you will. And it's got Nixon's papers in there and papers from Washington and Jefferson and Lincoln, and it's several volumes, pristine. It's like brand new condition, and I think I picked it up for something crazy like $20. But at least it's there. It's in print. It's, aside from fire, it's permanent. If things start to disappear, at least there's a copy of it that somebody down the road can find. And that's something else that we should be concerned about. So, give me your thoughts. Is creating some type of I don't know, underground newsletter like something that should be considered? Does it seem like a good idea? Are people on board with this? I've already got plenty of the infrastructure in place. I've got the blog. who knows how long this YouTube channel is going to remain up, because, Alphabet loves shutting things down if they're saying something they don't like. So let me know your thoughts. Really wish I could have been in the cabin for this one, but oh well. I think I'm going to go for a bit of a stroll, head back to the house, go about the rest of my day, see where that leads me. Hope everyone takes care and keep on typing.